Hey, survivors, I'm Cynthia Schiller. We are going to talk about the new supply. When is this narcissist going to break up with that person? And even just toxic relationships in general. A lot of us want karma, all these kinds of things go through our mind, and we feel where we want to be revengeful or vengeful to get back at somebody who hurt us. So stay true to yourself. And we're going to talk about that and why that's important. I just came across something that was pretty interesting that they were saying that after the honeymoon phase, relationships go through this steady decline for 20 years before they go back on the upswing. You realize after this honeymoon stage, it's similar to the love bombing stage where everything's going perfect. There are no obstacles, problems, pressures. The narcissist creates this false reality, but in regular relationships as well, there becomes an end to this honeymoon stage where you got to settle into life. Life happens. There's going to be deaths of close family members or loss of job or stressors, financial strain. So what is going to happen with the narcissist and the new supply? We have to remember what happened with us. Also, the purpose of this video is for us to also do some self-reflecting on moving forward. So the way I see it is people who are in the middle where they compromise, they love each other, they discuss things, they're kind of like in the middle. Those are your happy people. Maybe a couple little flukes here and there, but they overcome it. They complement each other. But when you go further out, the more damage, the more destructive it's going to be. It's just like if something in the middle kind of fluctuates, it's going to be a lot more pronounced the further out it gets. So the narcissist has all that damage that brings them to the outside. Their new person depends on where they fit on that spectrum, on how quick the relationship is going to dissolve. If they're way out, it's going to dissolve quickly. If they're healthy, like a lot of us were, that as they become destroyed, it's going to start to destroy it quick over time. So it depends on where your narcissist person is. They like to take strong people and bring them down, and that takes time. Also, depending on how damaged they are, are they willing to sacrifice and just stay in that pendulum, like this is what life is, that they don't have the security, the self-esteem, security within themselves to realize I'm worth more than this. That when people have low self-esteem, they don't feel like they can get somebody else. They don't feel like it's worth the hassle. They're too depressed. They don't want to put in the effort. They either look at the outside sources instead of the person, like I don't want to give up my house, or I don't have to pay for my car if I stay with this person, or it's just a hassle packing up, or what are the kids going to think, instead of thinking about the whole picture, the person that they're with, the family unit. Is it helping the family unit that they start looking at themselves like, I don't want to do this. This is just too hard to pack up, or this is just too embarrassing to go through a divorce. So some narcissists do stay with their partner, but are they happy? And, it gets to this point where it becomes so toxic. So even if the person stays, they're not going to be in a loving relationship. If they continue on, they're going to lose themselves, that they turn into this needy person. But the thing is that the narcissist is needy. So two needy people trying to get through this life is like two babies trying to pay a mortgage, trying to get kids ready for school, or plan for the future, or handle deaths in the family. It doesn't work, and it causes extra stress, and those stressors will infiltrate the relationship. And because of the lack of compromise that the narcissist wants to do, it always ends up in destruction. So depending on what the needs are the needs, just for money? Are the needs for status, and or even just sex? So will they break up? That's like I said, depends on the pendulum that starts swinging, and also just I give up. It is what it is. And some people are like that. I see people in certain jobs that they can achieve so much more, but they're content. Like, I make minimum wage, it's consistent, and I budget around it, and they're content with that. It depends on people's desires. But the narcissist often will choose someone that, as a male, will be a younger female. A male may choose a older female, kind of like the mommy issues and the daddy issues. It's interesting how it works out. It doesn't always work out that way, but the narcissist wants to be cared for. And we do care for them, but we care for them as adults. But their mental, emotional state is as a child. So you can't pull a 7-year-old and go, sweetheart, I paid the mortgage today. The 7-year-old is going to be like, what the fuck? Of course you paid the mortgage. You're my mom. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, that must have been such a sacrifice. You're working 60 hours a week. They're going to be like, what the fuck? That's your job. It's a different perspective, and the appreciation isn't there like it should be. The communication isn't there. And I was just thinking, I'm single. I went through 2 narcissistic relationships, and I'm like, we all self-reflect. What did I do wrong? Basically, I mean, I'm not faultless, but for the most part, I was really good. The only thing I really did wrong was want to over communicate. I kind of like, you feel you're abandoned and you try to save the family or save the relationship or question. You made this promise to me. What are we doing? You can say goodbye if that's what you're doing, but tell me. So I just wanted to communicate, because communication is the core of a relationship. Respect in a discard or a breakup, it should at least tell you what is going on instead of reinforcing you're going to be together. I gave up so much, sold all my stuff twice for the first one, and just I got a speeding ticket, I'm discarded. The other one encouraged me to hang on for 2 years, that we would be together as soon as the situation worked out. And uh, it's just, what the hell happened? And my pretty much only flaw, other than maybe we say things here and there that aren't the best way to say it, because we're frustrated, but my main thing was, can we just communicate? Even with my first one, during the custody battles and things like that, I'm like, just please listen to what I'm saying. They don't see your perspective. It's like, these aren't threats. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. And they take it the wrong way, that they try to destroy you. And we try to survive in these relationships, that they're post relationship. A lot of times we either want closure, or we want to work through things for the kids' sake. Even just, hey, can we meet at 6 o'clock to do the exchange, or do you mind 7 o'clock instead? I'll give you an extra hour on the other end. But the communication is terrible. And we sit here and feel guilty that we wanted to communicate. And granted, a lot of times we do go into panic mode, but at that time of the discard, we don't have any consistency. So we don't know if we're going to hear back. We don't know if it's going to be a week or 2 weeks or never. And, if the person isn't willing to be with you, or whatever, there should be some closure to it. There should be some closure, but the narcissist ghosts. And the reason for this video is for us to, look at ourselves and not be on that pendulum of that broken person, because we are kind of broken. We have CPTSD, that when we go into a relationship, that we're not going to push our partner away, and that we heal, but we don't utilize this person to heal us, because that'll push them away. That we have to come as healed as possible. And we have to look at things the right way. Boundaries are important, but we also have to be flexible. Today's day and age is fuck you, this, that. It's so easily discarded that sometimes we should work through things like, oh, that's what you meant. Or, oh, I didn't realize that was that important. Because if they're like, yeah, I can't see you Friday, I got a football game I got to watch. And you're like, what the frick? A football game? But that might be their passion. And through communication, they can say, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just time with the guys, but I can do it, see them on Monday instead. Or as opposed to, this is a championship and I've been following them since I was 6 years old, that we understand each other. And I just found it really interesting that, each subsequent marriage lasts shorter periods of time. People are not learning from their mistakes. So as the narcissist is with a new supply, is this their second or third marriage? That's going to play a part of it. Step families have like a 90-some% risk of failure, and it doesn't always work that way. I kind of haven't personally seen that, but I also don't keep tabs, so comment below, what have you seen with step families, blended families? So far, I question it being that high, but if it's a second, third marriage, and the kids don't like the parents, they're either going to discard the kids or, it depends on the dynamics. But as far as the new supply, a lot of times there's that age gap. It's an ego stroke. Like for a woman, it's like, because the way society sees women as we get older, we're seen as old hags. Men, as they get older, traditionally are seen as refined and more attractive. I can't think of the right word, but they're seen in a better light. So if you're seen in a better light, it makes sense that the woman will go to a older man. And for older women, they're going to get that ego stroke off of a younger man, just the way society perceives the individual sexes. I know things are changing, but traditionally. So the new supply, are they young and naive? A lot of times it's to manipulate. And, be cautious that you're not being manipulated. Think about it. If you're a older woman, is, some 20-year-old chasing you, and you feel like, I'm 50, 60 years old and this young thing just thinks I'm the shit. Is it your money? Is it, that they truly love you? And sometimes too, it is that mommy issue, like, the advice, and we do have more wisdom, but for men, traditionally, is a younger woman chasing after you for narcissistic reasons. But and this is a thing, is it, the narcissist will target younger women, but if it's a female narcissist, she will target the older man. So if you know who you are, you know where you fit in that. So just be aware of that. But with the cycle of idealization, love bombing, that even just the honeymoon stage in regular relationships, will the narcissist survive that 20-year decline? Because there are going to be adjustments and fixing the house up, and the septic system broke, or this or that, or whatever it is, that it's not all a bed of roses. There's a lot of struggles in life, that through the struggles, the mask slips. Through struggles, we see people's true personalities, just like you, that the true colors come out. But sometimes perception makes a big difference too. I don't know, did I have abandonment issues, but I was being abandoned. But I also had loyalty, dedication, trying to communicate, that the way people perceive things makes a difference too. Like, holy smoke, she just wants to know. Because she even said, tell me, fuck you, you don't want to talk to me again. She just wanted either closure or communication. Um, but the narcissist sees things so differently. So if they are with another narcissist, it's going to be volatile. But if they're with another empath, the empath is going to get to a point where it's outside the narcissist realm, where they're going to want to communicate, talk through feelings, and try to readjust. The narcissist doesn't want all that bullshit. They want instant gratification. They want their lies to be believed. They want to do whatever it is they want. And eventually the lies get so deep that, their true colors come out. Like, as an analogy, let's say a freckle was a lie. And this has nothing to do with skin color as far as nationality or race. But as an analogy, a freckle is a lie. Another freckle is another lie. And as the lies come out, you're going to turn into a whole different person. You're not going to be this color skin. You're going to be this color skin. I don't mean it racially, but it's a different person. It's a different image of, I don't even know if this is making sense. It makes sense in my mind, but that their true colors come out. And I'm not saying skin color is a bad color, but their soul comes out, and you start to see it. It's written all over their face that they want to say, look at me as a pure person. And you look at them and you see them without their mask. It's going to happen with the new supply. And I hope that was taken the right way. That wasn't meant racially at all. But the new supply, good luck to them. Statistically, regular relationships go through that decline before they go back on an upswing. And a lot of that is like, we've already weathered the storm. Let's just ride it out. But through the storm, the narcissist doesn't throw you a life preserver. They ghost you, lie to you, shut down, make you feel so uncomfortable. They steal your soul. You have nothing to stand on. You become trauma bonded. And it's weird how they get a kick out of it, but that's their control. But it gets so bad that we are starving for affection, that, I showed you guys a study of an orphan who was neglected and the brain damage that it did. It starts to fuck with your head, that it physically hurts. It messes up how you sleep, how you think, how you proceed with your life. Then the new supply is going to go through that too. And, narcissists are human beings that they're trying to get better, that, how close do we get to them? That's what we have to think of. How close, just like a lion in a cage, we can get kind of close to it, but the closer we get, the more at danger we are. So take that to account, because the narcissist has unhealed childhood trauma. A lot of times too, we don't know what the trauma is. I'm currently researching intrauterine trauma from the mother, if she's going through traumas, how that affects the baby, even early childhood. I was thinking earlier, if I was a year and a half years old and something happened, do I know what that trauma came from? Do I remember being neglected? Uh, and I am very cautious, but I am going to do a podcast soon on sexual orientation. I have noticed in my own personal experience that birth order makes a difference in certain things. And this is a very small sample, but I am not a part of the LGBTQ community, but I do have friends that do that. And also I have people that I don't know have, are out there. I just see them as people. I don't even ask what they're about. But the situations I've seen are traumas that could be from super early childhood. Also, the differences in gender and the outcome of that. So that'll be a whole other podcast that I hope is interesting to you. And I hope if you are a part of that community that bring a little bit more awareness to it. I'm not saying it's necessarily abuse related, but birth order makes a difference in how people react to certain things. So please like and subscribe. Likes really help with the algorithm. Subscriptions are always nice. And comment below. And I hope to see you in the next video. There's a lot of really cool information coming up ahead, but the narcissist always discards, not always physically, but the emotions. When the emotions get to be too true, it's foreign to them and they don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like true love because they didn't have it. And they always either feel that they have to prove themselves, or it's the vulnerable who is bad attention is attention. I just need attention. So I hope that helps. Try not to seek revenge, because in the future, you try to find a husband or a wife and you're like, yeah, it's kind of shitty. I was pissed off at my narcissist. I slashed their tires, but they deserved it. They dumped me high and dry, left me with the mortgage, whatever the situation. That's a bad mark on you. Don't leave any bad marks on your reputation, because reputation matters in society, and you're worth keeping the slate clean. It happened, but don't make it damage who you are. So I hope that makes sense, and I will see you in the next video. Lots of love to you guys. We'll talk more. Stay true to yourself.